Wow, we are back and I'm super excited. This is the bio back on VNTV. It's been a while, man. Yeah, I mean, not just a while, a long while. And we're back with the season 2 of the bio only on VNTV, where we bring to you a brief about individuals who has in one way or the other touched millions all around the world with their craft. Now, mind you, these individuals are either dead or alive. Regardless, we still bring their bio right here to celebrate them and, of course, announce to you all that they've indeed lived, and for those who are dead, lived a good life. Don't forget that we are coming to you from our studios here in Accra, Ghana. We are accessible on www.vnationtv.com. My name is Kelvin FNK. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because when you do, you'll get to see or have a feel of tons of individuals we've read in the previous seasons of the biography right here on VNTV. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have them all right there. Today, who are we talking about? Today, I'm going to be bringing to you a brief about a political activist, a former first lady, a wife of the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Late, but still not forgotten. I'm talking about no other than Stella Obasanjo, the former first lady who died a couple of years ago. Of course, when she died, her story all around the world was a sad one for millions all around the world. But though she's gone, she's not forgotten. Now, Stella Obasanjo became famous not just because she was the wife of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, but because of her political activities supporting her own right as well as women liberation. She also stood for Youth as Leaders of Tomorrow's initiative and also supported the rehabilitation of a war-torn Nigeria a couple of years ago. So today on the biography, I'm bringing you a brief about Stella Obasanjo. Though she's gone, she's indeed not forgotten. Once again, my name is Kelvin FNK. We'll go for a short commercial because when we come back, I'll bring into you the early life of Stella Obasanjo. We'll be right back. Alright, you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the bio. We are back, and of course, we are back for good. We are coming to you from our studios here in Accra, Ghana. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. I keep saying this. You have to, in fact, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the only place you get to have a refill of all the exciting programs we have right here on VNTV, the powerhouse of entertainment. Now, as I made mention early on, we'll be talking about a brief about a former first lady of Nigeria, late, of course, Stella Obasanjo. I'm just going to be reading to you a brief about her early life and career. Born on November 14, 1945, Stella Abebe met her husband Olusegun Obasanjo when he was a military officer. She found him to be rather dull at first, but was finally won over by the man's intelligence and perseverance. Two traits, she said, helped him make her husband a great leader. He was imprisoned in 1995 for taking part in a coup to overthrow the government, and while trying to have her husband freed, Stella Obasanjo began to exhibit the activism that many applauded her for. As a champion for women, Stella Obasanjo addressed a crowd after violence had broke out in the region. She said, "As you celebrate the 2nd Ebonyi Women's Day, I want to charge you with the responsibility of championing the cause of peace in your state. You must do all in your power, individually and collectively, to ensure that the recent reports of violence in Ebonyi State are also the very last," Stella Obasanjo stated in a speech located at the African News Service. Urging females to be strong and independent is one of her major issues the First Lady supported. She once commented that even though her husband had made a commitment to improving living conditions in Nigeria, then things will continue to deteriorate in the country unless more women were allowed to participate in governance, according to the media. The country was injured earlier, both economically and politically, because of different military factions fighting internally in that world. Women have long been marginalized. So that was the period the former First Lady was campaigning for equal right for women. Now, according to Obasanjo, unless this stops, the country is in danger of continuing to deteriorate. At a special session on peace at Addis Ababa on November 23, 1999, Stella Obasanjo's work in Nigeria for promoting female activism was noticed by K.Y. Amwako. She stated in a speech located on the Economic Commission for African website, Obachi stated, "We believe that this new spirit of female activism is beginning to be seen in the country, where women have been among the most engaged actors in the democratization process. The role of women in politics was just one of the issues that Stella supported with her political intelligence and personal dedication." Another cause that Stella Obasanjo always championed was the development of Nigerian youths. Stella has called Nigerian youth potential leaders of tomorrow. She encouraged them to be smart and safe so that they can remain healthy, non-violent leaders in the future, helping bring Nigerian prominence and success in the world marketplace. In summer 2001, Stella Obasanjo took part in a program for Youth Success Academy for Youth SAY 2001. At the closing ceremony, she discussed how important programs such as SAY were to the eventual success of the country. Youths are the future of the nation, and only the foolish will neglect giving them attention, as reported in the media. She emphasized the importance of being openly aware of the problems facing Africa as a whole, including the AIDS, HIV epidemic, and other such things as malaria and violence. She believed that the time had come for violence as a means to an end to be abolished, and she punctuated that this must stop with the Nigerian youth. Now, mind you, these are some of the activities that the former First Lady Stella Obasanjo championed during a reigning as the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I still celebrate this one because personally, before I continue this, I just want to make you aware of my personal opinion about Stella Obasanjo. I saw her as a fashion icon because she was one of those who was, of course, we all know Baba looks very, very handsome. But when Stella Obasanjo goes out with Baba, you're more like, okay, now there's a balance. So I wouldn't want to say much, but we all know how beautiful the woman is, and of course, her support for the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, moving on, another cause that Stella Obasanjo backed is luring expatriate Nigerians back home. Interesting. Her husband's government is the first democratic government in Nigeria in 15 years, according to the Christian Science Monitor, and many have returned or begun to establish businesses in the country, even if you cannot relocate to Nigeria immediately. Obasanjo plead in the Christian Science Monitor, visit home to see in which way you can lend as a helping hand in rebuilding the country. So she was actually supporting Obasanjo's initiative of bringing Nigerian expatriates back home to establish more businesses in Nigeria. And I think years from that, it has actually worked because a lot of people have come back home, in as much as we're still facing some sort of corruptions here and there. But at least the nation is better than it used to be before, right? So thanks to Stella Obasanjo for supporting her husband, Olusegun Obasanjo, in making that a reality. Being a first lady might seem like a position that contained interest only because a woman was married to a powerful man. But for Stella Obasanjo, she gained power in her own rights. Yes, mind you, she fought for the release of Olusegun Obasanjo when he was arrested a couple of years before he became the president of Nigeria. So yes, she gained her own right as a woman, not because she was married to Obasanjo. She gained a right, she gained power in her own right. Something that became very evident in October of 2001. At a reception organized to honor Obasanjo's visit to the state of Ondo, the then governor Adebayo Adefarati, quoted in the media, pleaded with the wife of the president, Chief Mrs. Stella Obasanjo, to prevail on her husband not to sign into law the continuous electoral bill. When Stella supported the cause, people noticed she had in fact criticized past first ladies for what she said was reckless spending of public funds on non-sustainable women programs. Yes, of course, she did that as well. She also declared that female programs in the past treated female parade replete with flamboyant trapping, which only gave out a contradictory message of women in celebration of their luck and fortunes. She also had been called by the Post Express delectable, a trendsetter who the country actually looked to for fashion. As I said, yes, she was indeed a fashion icon. So in the year 2000, she was awarded the African Civic Responsibility Award 2000. Now, the post expressed for her work on behalf of the children of Nigeria, as she told the PM News, "So with this being a First Lady, I do not see it as an avenue to be arrogant. First Lady is just another form of public office." I repeat that word again. She said, "First Lady is just another form of public office. I see this opportunity as a call to service, not for personal agenda at all. Her grace and compassion did not go unnoticed." So yes, for the past years now, she's passed grace and of course compassion towards women liberation, fighting for youth as the leaders of tomorrow, and of course her great contribution to African and Nigerian fashion has never gone unnoticed. So that was a brief about the wife of the former president of Nigeria, the late wife, of course, Stella Obasanjo. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, I'll just be taking you through some of the awards she was awarded, and of course some tremendous work she did aside the ones I just read to you. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the Bio live on VNTV, the Power of Entertainment. It's either you're watching us live on Facebook or live from our TV channel. We'll be talking about the great contribution that the former First Lady of Nigeria, of course, late Stella Obasanjo, a contribution to the development of Nigeria in the passing years during the reign of her husband Olusegun Obasanjo. If you're just joining us, subscribe to our YouTube channel because you have to get a repost over there so you can have a feel of it. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media handles, and let's get interactive. Now let me bring to you the sad story that hit Nigeria a couple of years ago when she actually passed on, the circumstances surrounding her death. So just a few weeks before her 60th birthday, Stella Obasanjo experienced complications after a routine cosmetic surgery and died. The news came on October 23, 2005, the same day a Nigerian plane carrying 117 passengers and crew crashed, leaving no survivors. Now, that was a sad story there for Nigeria indeed. Now, the country mourned openly for the First Lady and those lost in the crash. Tribute to Stella Obasanjo's lifelong humanitarian efforts abandoned. Mourners quoted by the media says that they called her a mother to all Nigerian children, a tireless advocate, a gem. In her memory, a market and a lake were renamed to honor her, and the Child Trust Foundation continued to serve Nigerian children. As Samson Ewang, a former military administrator, put it to African News Service, Stella Obasanjo touched lives. She affected humanity and left the society better than she met it. She was a trailblazer in her role as First Lady and showed Nigerian women the way to becoming more involved in the rebuilding of the country. Stella Obasanjo will be remembered as the kind of First Lady that the country desired to have as a figurehead of their nation. Mind you, if she's still been alive till now, I won't be surprised if Stella Obasanjo would be running for president, because she was indeed a political activist. She actually fought. She was not just sitting on the title of being the First Lady of Nigeria. She was on the field working with her husband, working alongside her husband. So I'm just going to be giving to you a glance of the life of Stella Obasanjo. So born Stella Abebe on November 14, 1945. She's a Nigerian, of course, in Nigeria. Died on October 23, 2005 in Malaga, Spain. Now, she was the daughter of Dr. Christopher Abebe, the former African chairman of the United African Company, UAC, and Theresa Abebe she was married to Olusegun Obasanjo, and that was in 1976. Now, she had only one child, of course, recorded child, and his name is Olumuyiwa Obasanjo. Now the son, education background, she studied at the University of Ife Obafemi Awolowo University from 1967 to 69. She studied insurance in Scotland and England from 1970 to 1974, and she also went to Pitman College, London, for confidential secretary certificate in 1976. Now, her career was a political activist, First Lady of Nigeria 1999 to 2005, a Child Care Trust Foundation founded in 1999 to 2000. 2005 as well. Now, a membership, a political status was the People's Democratic Party, still reigning, of course, PDP. Now, our awards includes African Civic Responsibility Award in 2000. Yeah, so that was a brief about Stella Obasanjo, and I'm super sure that years after she's passed, her legacies are still being followed and still being celebrated. So you should know that she was one of the pioneers of those who fought for women's liberation, women having political offices, and rebranding and rebuilding Nigeria to what we have today. As I made mention earlier on, in as much as the nation is still facing some corruptions here and there, Stella Obasanjo's legacy is still being followed. Well, that's all we have for you on today's bio about Stella Obasanjo. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because over there you get a repost of this particular bio. That is if you missed or you meet us halfway. Once again, my name is Kelvin FNK. You can follow me on my social media handle. It's Kelvin_FNK on Instagram. I'll see you another time with another great, of course, living or dead legend here on the bio. See you next time.